Hey, what's up? This is Chris Martin, and if you want to get listings through expireds, I'm about to teach you how. You ready? Let's go. Let's go.
Stop me. I'm all the way up.
So whether you're a new agent and you're looking to find out how to get listings, or maybe you're an agent that's been around but you're looking for a new way to get listings, expireds could be that way that you can add more listings into your inventory. Look, inventory is tough to get as it is, so expireds was a way that I built my business. So I literally built my business through a couple different areas, and expireds was a big one, a big area on how I grew my business. So expireds to me, it was low-hanging fruit. These were people that were already raising their hand saying that they wanted to sell. So what is an expired? An expired is a property that was on the market and it was listed with another agent and it didn't sell for whatever reason. Their contract expired. They had a listing agreement with a start date and an end date. And once that end date hits, that property is now expired. So as a real estate agent, you can't solicit to that property. You can't go knocking on that person's door or call that person while they're under agreement, a listing agreement with another agent. You can't solicit to that person. You have to respect that relationship and that listing agreement. However, once that expires, they're a free agent. You're open to reach out to that person. So again, these people are already saying that they want to sell. They want to sell their property, and for whatever reason, their property did not sell while it was on the market. So here's an opportunity for you to come in as an agent and see if they're open to a new approach. So to me, there's a couple different ways, there's all types of scripts out there, and I encourage you guys to get your hands on some scripts. They're not too hard to find. If you Google expired scripts, I'm sure that there'll be a dozen that pop up. To me, there's a couple key points to a script that you're choosing that you want to make sure that it has that within the script. So one of the things is within an expired script, now that we know what an expired is, we want to do a couple of things. And a good script is just going to be basically questions that you're asking through the conversation. I call it like teeing people up. You're basically asking these questions. You know what the answer is going to be, but you're leading them down this path. You're giving them like a softball pitch, an underhand toss, so they can hit it out of the park and lead them in the area that you want them to lead to. So a couple different things that you want to make sure that are in the script that you're using. To me, you want to create doubt. You want to be able to create doubt with expireds, and you do that by asking a few questions. So for the script that I used, it was pretty simple. Like I went through the script, let them know that I was an agent and I specialize in expired properties, and I asked them, any idea why the property didn't sell when it was on the market? So I'm asking them that question, any idea why it didn't sell? That's the first question that really can raise a little bit of doubt. Maybe they know why it didn't sell. Maybe they don't know why it didn't sell. But this question can raise some doubt, raises some suspicion, and that's what you want to do. So ask them, let them tell you the story. I'm not one to call an expired listing and down the other agent. I'm not going to do that. That's not my style. I don't recommend doing it. Now, I would tee them up and let them do it if that's what they feel didn't allow the property to sell, and then they'll tell you, oh, it was my agent, they were lazy, they never answered my call, then they only did one open house, yada, yada, yada. You can give them an opportunity to vent. Again, you give them that softball toss with the question and allowing them to vent. You're setting them up to create a little doubt or vent the frustration that they've had during this listing process. One thing I want to mention to you guys is if you plan on working expireds, you have to have empathy. Think about the reasons why this person is frustrated and may not even want to talk to you. They've gone through the process of putting their property on the home. We forget as agents sometimes the ins and outs of what that entails, but maybe that person had kids. Every time that a showing request happened, they had to get the kids out of the house, make sure the house was clean, take the dog out, and they had to do this over and over again. How many times did the agent call them and say, oh, thanks for getting the house prepared, but the showing canceled, or they did an open house and only 2 people came, or no offers came in? So you have to understand the frustration that was built up over time and over this course. You have to understand that. So part of your scripting has to allow them to have that frustration and you being able to understand them. So any idea why the property didn't sell when it was on the market? It looks like a great home. I know the area well. That was in my script. And allowing them to voice their frustration. Well, I don't know. It might have been the price, yada, yada. Yeah, you know what's strange is there's been a ton of properties that have sold in the area. I can imagine that being frustrating for you. again, pausing, letting them kind of voice their frustration, and asking them what their, if they did sell, where were they planning on going? Finding out what type of motivation they had, what was their plan, reminding them of that, because some expireds may just say, I don't want to sell. When we can bring them back to the reason why they wanted to sell in the first place, just by asking them, where were you planning on going if you did sell the property? And asking them that there. So we get a little background there. We want to sit on that for a little bit. What we don't want is we don't want to ask a script and just rifle off those questions. Boom, 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 boom. The point of a script is to give you those questions to keep you on course to get an appointment. So those questions are to keep you on course, but there's all sorts of filler and ad-libbing that goes on between those questions. So I want you to know that. I get this a lot where agents will say, I don't like using a script. It sounds too robotic. Yeah, well, you sound too robotic. You're not reading the script right. The script is meant to keep you on course, and you should follow the script. You don't want to go off the rails and do all these types of questions, and next thing you know, you're on the phone for 2 hours and you get no appointment. Use the script, use the questions, feel free to ad-lib, use your own personality into it, right? You want to be able to add your inflection on certain words and not sound robotic. You sound robotic because you're reading the script wrong. Get better at reading the script and you won't sound robotic, all right? Good. So we're creating doubt. We're creating doubt by giving them some sort of question that raises some suspicion of why it didn't sell. And you letting them know that there are properties moving in the market, and their property is one that unfortunately didn't sell. So, asking them, any idea why it didn't sell when it was on the market, and seeing what their thoughts are on that. And listening, pausing and sitting on that for a while. One of the questions I really liked in a script was, because I'm a very direct person, asking the question, if you did decide to sell it again, would you use the same agent or would you be open to a new approach? So asking that question basically lets them tell you what they would do if they were to relist their property, and again gets those that ball rolling again. So they'll tell you, I plan on listing with the same agent. Okay, great. Anything that you think would be done differently from the time that it was on the market? I noticed it's been on for a few months. Again, raising some doubt and seeing what they say. What I do is I specialize in properties that didn't sell, and sometimes it takes a second or even third agent to get the property sold. And this is what I've specialized my business on and built my business off of. I'd love to come out for 15 to 20 minutes and show you exactly what I would do differently than the last time you had it on the market. Would you be okay taking that meeting? So asking them that, if they would be open to a new approach in selling. That new approach, of course, is you. You as an agent, you'd be that new approach. You don't want to give a whole list of things of what you would do differently. You want to entice them with this conversation, with this wording, to be able to show them in person, because of course, you're not going to get a listing signed over the phone. So don't try doing it. Don't try handling objections and doing all that stuff. We want to be able to satisfy the questions for the most part of what homeowners are asking us over the phone, but we want to be able to meet with them and show them, right? I heard once it's like trying to explain the color blue over the phone, or you can't really do that. You have to be able to show them in person. So you want to be able to set that up. So again, an expired script to me is very simple. You're creating doubt at some point within the script, and then you're giving hope. You're giving hope that the property can be sold. There's a new approach of doing things. It's not always going to be they list a property and it doesn't sell. You are the specialist that has got other properties sold that you listed that were expired with other agents. And if you don't have those stats of your own, feel free to use your company stats or whatever. But there are properties that get relisted all the time that were expired that end up selling. So they can be one of those statistics that it didn't sell and it sells. So again, one of the things I loved about expireds is, as a new agent especially, because this is how I grew my business, you can take an expired, and for the most part, expireds are expiring because they're priced too high. So I knew as an agent, if I took an expired, as long as I adjusted the price somewhat, then I had a better chance of getting it sold than the previous agent. And a lot of the times that was enough in and of itself to work. So even if you don't know the pricing of where property should be, you know where it didn't sell at, so you know where you don't need to be at. So taking that listing, adjusting the price, and putting it back on the market is going to give you a better chance of getting that property sold and a commission in your pocket. Practice your scripts by going over them, internalizing them, knowing those questions inside and out. That way you can insert them into the conversation when needed and getting to the appointment. So there's going to be opportunities to close during the script. Take those opportunities. Don't feel like you have to go through the entire script. If you call someone and right out of the gate they're like, yeah, I'm willing to meet, don't feel like you have to ask them 5 more questions. Say, great, I have some time on my schedule, this time or this time, which one works better? And then of course you can go into pre-qualifying, which we'll talk about in another video, and making sure you have all the answers to the questions that you'll need to prepare yourself for the appointment. But for the most part, get the appointment. The purpose of the script is to land the appointment. Once it's landed, then get it. Don't feel like you have to carry that conversation on. Some people are okay giving you that appointment early on in the script. Listen out for those opportunities. I loved expireds. Again, people that are already raising their hand, saying that they want to sell. Why not have them sell with you as an agent? And I know for the most part that I am going to be providing a much better experience than what they had to their previous agent. So expired listings, a great way to get listings, a great way to add some more commission checks during the year of your real estate, and hopefully this helped. So if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I always put content out like this pretty often, at least once a week, put a new video out there. Drop a comment, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
I'm all the way up. I'm all